Okay. Hi, everybody. It's Professional High Priestess, and I just wanted to go ahead and do part two from our reading from last night. I went ahead and I put that private because there was a lot of information, and I will think about putting it on later, okay? So now let's go ahead and get started. So there's a few things first. You guys know that I posted a video a few weeks ago and I called it expensive shit. And I was talking about how I'm like constantly finding like things when I'm like out and about. I'm constantly finding free shit. I'm constantly finding expensive things, etc. Like I found this like purse. I'm wondering if I should, now that I have my computer, I'm going to show you this purse. What is this brand? Okay. Yeah, I found this purse and it's like so interesting because these purses are like from like 300 to $400 and I found it. And I was like, oh God, you're so like sweet. Like, thank you for this purse, I guess. Right. So one of the other things that ended up happening was I found money, all kinds of shit. I found money. Um, one time I found like $80. I found this jacket yesterday. It's a brand new Levi's jacket. Yeah, you're gonna these go for like a lot. It's a brand new Levi's jacket, and I got this. And I was like, oh, this is so interesting. I'm gonna give this to somebody. But inside the jacket, there were 3 tickets to the Skilla concert. So, right. So I was like, oh, okay, this is great. So I'm gonna do a giveaway. And I want to see who wants one of these tickets. Now, I don't have money to pay for your like travel and flight, but you can get a free ticket. So we're gonna do a giveaway. So one of the other things that's going to end up happening is I'm going to be online later on tonight around like 7 o'clock p.m. because I'm going to be doing the readings. Some of you guys want readings, so you can pay $10, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, and then you can get your reading done. Okay, because I know some of you guys like you want insight about certain things that are going on in your world. So I'm going to be doing that for you guys. So be here at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Central Time. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. First come, first serve for readings, okay? And then you're gonna go ahead and get your reading. If you guys want the monthly readings, I put them on my Patreon. So go ahead and check my wall. It's like there's something there. What's this thing called? Yeah, it's something there on my and you can click the description. It's on my page, okay? So I was like, God is really good. And it's a cute purse. It's called a Misto Antiprima. This purse is like $500. It's brand new, and I just found it. It's cute. So God is good. So now let's keep on talking. So you guys know that I've been basically exposing like different white supremacist factions and organizations that have been involved in playing with children of color, people of color, etc., for this nonsense campaign that they are on for getting spiritual gifts from space, right? You're going to learn how to code and you're going to be the most powerful. So, some of you guys do not know that what's currently going on in Palestine, which got 4 United Nations staff to my page overnight, it's the fact that they're they made a pact with some bitch in space that's speaking into their ear using sound technology. You have to slaughter these people because they are a danger to you. If you don't get rid of them completely and take their land, you will end up in strife. So they've been basically like harassing the Palestinian community, the Jordan community, the Afghani community, etc., with wars and bombs because some bitch in space told them to because she promised them that they were going to get this and that. Why? Because they can't go to their planet. They cannot come near them. They cannot get involved in anything that they do because of what they get involved in. None of them have any melanin. None of them have any gifts, etc. we're gonna go ahead and show you the type of magic that they're using, and I'm gonna show you what they're doing, and only then will you realize that you got set up in front of the whole entire like planet and space. Because these hosts did not tell you that in order for them to play like that, they were constantly having to get new bodies. They were having to travel from this dimension to this dimension. So it's different like ratchets that they were playing with in different dimensions. They were having to go from one ratchet to another to get specific like sciences, biotech and whatnot in space to make new bodies, to redevelop their consciousness, et cetera, because of what ends up happening to them when they play with people. So what ended up coming out last night is that Netanyahu and all of them think that they're supposed to be raping all the Palestinian women, obliterating their children, harming young men, et cetera, because some bitch in space told them to. So now what you guys are going to find out is like, oh, okay, so you need to tell me that they're getting spied on like that because they're also putting magic on the Palestinian people and the people that they're harassing in space for the Israelis to spy on them. Like, oh, okay, there a bunch of people are moving tonight. They're getting out. They're going to Jordan. Okay, go down by the water. That's the type of shit that these hoes were doing in space, and that's why all of them are getting slaughtered. Now, a lot of you guys are hearing about mass shootings in the community, hood hoes getting killed, people getting their head cut off, et cetera, and it's because those hoes that are doing that in space, those are their physical bodies on planet Earth. So we are also in space, and that's like another story that I'm not going to really talk about because people love to clout chase, especially these white supremacists that are coming to my channel looking for content and looking for different people. Like, oh, I can speak at this conference, or I can get in with these people, or I can go in front of these white people and try to flex with Daisy's work, aka Seven Bomar. I just want to let you know that there are two children that went missing in the black part of Costa Rica, and his hand is in that playing with white people in rituals and starting shit. So now what's happening here is everyone is coming to find out like, oh, okay, so you thought you were going to upload Daisy to virtual reality and get a bunch of information and go run off and play with a bunch of black and brown people, only to find out that all of it is locked by your hand. So it does not matter what you do. I can type up a bunch of shit, and as long as I didn't consent to any of that, it's locked in the Akasha, and that's how the Akasha works. And that's one thing that these space hosts did not tell them about. Oh, the Akasha. So what is an Akasha? Oh, it's just like a record system. For those of you guys that play in coding, you know that there's something called Leah. So it pulls on the memory, the address of the different registers when you're coding memory. So like, oh, if I want to find out the addresses on this register on this database, I go ahead and I use Leah and I can find that. I just want to let you guys know because of what you guys did playing with me with virtual reality and like, oh, we're gonna turn this all up. You got several fucking people murdered on planet Earth and several people murdered in space. Space has been cleared out completely. So for some of you guys that were in the virtual reality that you've been watching this, your higher self has been showing you, watch what's going to end up happening today. Watch what's going to end up happening tonight. Watch what's going on. And you're seeing like different hosts getting put on their knees, different people getting tortured and stuff like that. Like, where are these people from? It's what's happening in space because they're showing you concurrently as these hosts are playing, they're all getting killed. That's why what's happening now is that voice changer that they're playing with, that's from a far place. They're about to break that. And they put magic on these white people so they can see the bitch that they're playing with in space. So you mean to tell me that for several years, white people have been playing with this sound technology from space and they think that they're like special and powerful over people of color because they're playing with some bitch that is like 3 feet tall and has no melanin and she's like 400 pounds and her name is like Ashara or Desiree or Latifah Simon, that the bitches that play in your hood, et cetera, et cetera. Yes. So now these white men are finding out about these holes and that these holes bamboozle them. Precisely. So now what's going to end up happening is all these white supremacists, they're going to turn that hatchet that they've been putting onto children against them. Now, we're also going to do an exercise using a map, and you guys are going to be able to tap in with visualization. Some of you guys that used to do my meditations, now you see why I stopped doing meditations. But now you see why you love my meditations because you can visualize and see yourself there. That's a specific gift. I built my way up with that. I didn't do any magic on anybody, Seven Bomar. I didn't upload all the black and brown people in the spiritual community to spy on their information and knowledge to upload it to an app. I wasn't doing rituals on people. I wasn't playing with any spell work. I just knew how to meditate. Now, one of the things that somebody's going to try to lie about is that meditation, but why are we getting thousands upon thousands of views on my meditation videos? I may start meditating again so I can show you guys what this stuff looks like in space, but I don't think that you believe it. You'd be like, what the fuck is that? That's not something that you can like make up. And that's why the hood ended up going fucking bananas and bonkers because they started seeing that and like, what am I fucking seeing? So you mean to tell me that you thought you were gonna play with us with witchcraft, white people from Russia, and the witchcraft is actually radiation. And the other type of witchcraft is you guys practice incest. And you thought that you were going to bring that into our community. Thank you. And then there's something about somebody getting caught the fuck up with a copy of a universal spiral and then a copy of a specific substance space that makes up like specific organs for the human body. And somebody's going to be really mad when they're walking around with some bullshit in their ear that's clicking and popping and destroying their vagus nerve because I'm about to turn that on right now. So I'm going to go ahead and move you guys off that server. We have a new substance space that we brought down here. I have a lot of coding work to do, but I throw out the databases in space and then we just code it over there. Um, so I have a lot of coding to do on the computer, and you guys are going to see me do a few tutorials where I throw up these new forces of physics, throw up the new chemical spiral servers, and throw up the new force of physics spaces, and throw up the new substance spaces because I'm a high priestess and I can do that. So the whole entire time, NASA, Boeing, all these people are looking for particle accelerators and shit like that. You have to be indigenous to get that because it's like how we travel. It's like, oh, so we can have like a better dream state, like so I can feel more like rested in the morning. That's what that's for. Not so you can move spaceships back and forth and play with chemicals and bring fentanyl to the planet. So some of you guys are like, why haven't I ever heard of this before? There's a reason why, right? Because you've heard of Jesus. Okay. Now, another thing here is Daisy has gone crazy. I wish that that was the case. Because why is there something on my fucking ear and why is there a white man constantly talking to me about like being raped and murdered and shit like that and me needing to give up their gifts? You took this from us and we need it back. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I am dark skinned. I enjoy being dark skinned. I was dark skinned and enjoyed it before it was like a thing to be because I made it a thing to be because everyone saw me. Before it became a thing to be the second time because we had the 90s and we had Little Kim before she wasn't Little Kim and we had Escape before somebody played with spell and like broke them up when we had SWV. Oh yeah, that's hella true. Yeah, at one point in time, it was actually not okay to be like light skinned. That was actually funny, even though that's not okay either. Oh, so that means I'm not a sellout. Right. Right. So now everyone's running around like, oh, I'm happy being dark skinned. Yeah, with a bunch of bleaching cream. Okay. So I don't want to really get into the details of all that. We have a few updates before we get into the chemical warfare. No one cares. There's a few things that I have to show you to let you guys know that there is a war. So you guys know that you went to go and play with white people. Look at this. See the face of the richest man who ever lived. And he's supposed to be white in Egypt. Okay, look at this. Egyptologist. Hawass says, claims that the ancient Egyptian civilization was black are lies. Okay, look at this. A home brewer in Utah just used a recipe from a 3,500-year-old papyrus, aka Egyptian paper, to recreate beer that ancient Egyptians drank. This is all in the media. This you got I have like this certain thing on my phone and it just like popped all of these up one after another after another. Do you see what the fuck I'm talking about with that stupid ass book called Ancient Evenings? Now, some of you guys are going to find out like what is this book Ancient Evenings? It's a book that was written by a white man that was basically trying to say that the ancient Egyptian society is not black because white people found out that they were Neanderthals and they found out that one at one point in time that all black and brown people will wake up and go to war with them with what they try to start, but we already know that you're abnormal because look what you do on the planet, and we know for a fact that you weren't in Egypt because Egypt is in Africa and you have no melanin, so then that means that you must be dead, right? Okay, because the sun and shit like that. And then all these different Arabs and things like that, you want to go and play games, and they're kidnapping all the black people like in Eritrea, Ethiopia, Yemen, etc., and things like that, and running rituals on them because of the shit that you bitches started, which emboldened white people to go play like that. So now people are finding out that what you guys started with me on YouTube is directly connected to all this fuckery that's going on the planet right now. All those wars in Sudan, Djibouti, coming up in the Congo, Eritrea, and Ethiopia and parts of Yemen. What's going on in Palestine and what's about to get started in Afghanistan again. Had you never played like that, we would have been in front of people telling them about this virtual reality and the magic, and that would have stopped. So now, another thing that I want to bring up for the feds is United Nations Council. Hold on, I'm gonna teleport an entire federation to the Dua. Thank you. United Nations. Yeah, United Nations has a council on witchcraft. Okay, so they know people are playing with spell work. Right. The elimination of harmful practices related to accusations of witchcraft. They changed it in the middle of the virtual reality because I wrote a book about this. Oh, okay. Oh, it's about albinism because there's something that ends up happening where they are kidnapping people who have albinism and using them in spell work. White people, once again, who initiated that, and then somebody that did magic on a bunch of people to play with that. So you mean to tell me that they changed it? They changed the name of the council to people accused of witchcraft, whites. Oh, okay, because a bunch of white supremacist factions got raised up all at once as being involved in kidnapping a bunch of black and brown people and using them in ritual sacrifice because of all the complaining that I was doing on my YouTube and how it made it to the United Nations. So some of you folks are just now seeing, okay, ooh, what the fuck did we start? Keep on playing in that fucking Botanica, bitch. You notice that there's different practitioners now. Like, oh, she's not here anymore because she's dead. So, ooh, right. Yeah, they already played with that and try to like put magic on it and things like that. Like, oh, people shouldn't see that. Fucking stupid. I have a book right here that I'm gonna give the feds. Yeah, I wrote this book, Frameworks for Addressing Witchcraft and Spiritual Violence in Law and, and Policy. I sent this to them. They tried to plagiarize my whole book. And somebody told her, oh, yeah, I know about this woman, Daisy. This is her work. And that's why we're here because you guys tried to take her work and you didn't include her because of what was happening. And that's how all this is going on in everyone's country. Everyone was beefing about this. How long is this book? It's a few pages. And there's a lot of good stuff in here. So, um, right. The usurping of naturally occurring bacteria and parasites, putting white people on another chemical server. You just keep on going, okay? And watch what's going to happen to you. The usurping of naturally occurring bacteria and parasites through the influencing of their holographic reality in order to facilitate changes to their DNA to then impact the host in which they function using physics and chemistry. Okay, so you've been talking about this. And people at the United Nations have this book and the feds have this book because we hacked your computer and stole all your files and then they hacked our computer and found everything. So I have a table right here of what science is this? How do they facilitate the experimentation or the witchcraft? What's the process of engagement? Like, okay, this is how you play with water and jars and spells and this is how this works. What's the outcome? And what's the relation to witchcraft and spiritual warfare? I made this table. And somebody tried to go get this like a copy in some white bitch in Russia. Do you see what the fuck you started with everyone's kids getting like kidnapped, raped, and murdered because you hosts want to go and play like that on YouTube and you want to go and play like that? Like, oh, well, we thought if we made a bunch of videos about Daisy, we'd get famous because we know people were watching this. And then we started a bunch of bullshit because YouTube took all those videos and tried to tie it to her name. And then when people were bringing up her channel, they were using those stupid ass videos that a bunch of goofy ass hosts, three of them are now missing. Two of them fucking died. One of them is missing. People want to go ahead and use those videos and say that, oh, well, I don't think that this is very professional because look at all this, but you planned it with a bunch of goofy bitches. And then you're wondering why shit is popping up like this in the cartel. There was in Texas, yeah, whoa. It was two Spanish women. I can't, whoa. Let me see. I could just see their image. It's two Spanish women that were playing with brujeria and starting a bunch of shit, and they got killed back to back, dismembered. One of them had their feet cut off and like sewed to her mouth. Yeah, it's this is one of them, and it was like another one that I'm gonna see if I can find. Let's see if I can find this story. It's going to take me a while to go through my screenshots, and I'm going to find this and I'm going to show you this. So now you see why everyone's getting killed and why people are getting hit and why she ended up getting murdered when she was pregnant and they killed her baby daddy too because her mom playing with brujeria. Because you thought it was cute to play like that until you realize, like, oh yeah, white people, they're disgusting. Why the fuck are we playing with them? Okay. The National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. In the UK. Yes, yes, yes. There's a bunch of links that they try to scrub from the internet, playing with children on rituals. Okay. It's really big in the UK. There's like a bunch of news stories. I want you guys to go look into this. Why? Because those kids get trafficked from their family into foster care, and then they end up in like different families of different like sellout families. Oh, yeah, we can adopt them. We speak the same language, and they do play with rituals with white people, and like, oh, they let white men come back and forth and in and out. But that's what you started. So you wanted to say, oh, look what we did. Look what you did. And that's why you're sick. Your pussy's leaking a bunch of fucking chemicals, and you're contemplating like having sex with Russians to get technology. Okay. So, and they fuck on their mom. Okay, cool. So let's keep on going with this bullshit. So another chaos that has gotten started. 22 Chinese arrested for playing with cyber crimes in Zambia. Just know that you can get hit. Look at this foolish fish. I want you guys to go look at his YouTube channel. Another one of the white supremacists playing. How to consecrate your magic tools. Well, they have to eat up the blood of they have to eat up the Bahapaman, and then we use their blood and charge our spiritual tools. Basically feeding children of color feces and then chopping them up, playing with sex rituals, and then using their blood with magic. But that's what the fuck you started. And they started this bullshit all at fucking once. Because if that wasn't the case, then we wouldn't have this. Ebony alert to the disappearance of Black women and men and women and children. Because so many of us went missing, they needed one specific for the Black community. Do you see what the fuck you started? But that's not, and everyone's watching this. Okay. So I'm just gonna let you know now, you just keep on going. Right? Because somebody just figured something out about like space magic. Okay, so yeah, they are probably hitting us up and they're watching this. So 16-year-old arrested in deadly triple shooting outside Inwood subway. The cops needs to see this because their whole family was playing with Xiong and they were playing with people's distribution. Like, oh yeah, we can take meat. We have like a taco truck or something like that, or we have a Spanish restaurant. And two of those men that were involved in like food supply and distribution, they ended up getting killed. And there's something going on with human trafficking. Um, Workers, migrants. Like, oh, she wants to work here, job under the table. Okay, good. We'll traffic her for the whites or play with labor trafficking. So they killed him. So now another thing that's going to end up happening is why are all these bodegas on fire? Why bodega workers? Because they're playing with Xiong in the Black community. They thought it was funny all at once to be feeding Black and brown people human meat because of what you guys got started. Right? It's a bitch that's on my channel constantly like, okay, yeah, well, yeah, I didn't start that. I just thought it was like
Your
funny
child
about
needs
that. What's funny about that? Okay, well, you just thought that you were like better. I don't know you. I'm minding my business. You're mentally ill and you're like too into me. Are you gay?
of America expressing displeasure with the NYPD's handling of violent crime. Wanted in connect.
Bodega, murders. But wait, How is this? What is this? How do you know though? Okay, watch. Good. This one right here. Rideshare driver shot. Arab community about to be set on fire. Wait, look at this one. And then Bodega owner stabbed multiple times in chest because they were playing with Cheong and starting shit. Also, too, there's something with a bunch of like corner stores, bodegas shutting down all across the United States. It's because somebody, one of these Arabs got really smart and slick, playing like, oh, okay, so but we have Arab geometry and we have these constellations. I know that we're going to be able to do this and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. Just because they rewrote the names of the stars doesn't mean that has anything to do with you. And if you actually read Arabic, then the names of all those different stars, it's only like in three constellations, right? Because you have Regulus, that's not an Arab name. The name of those constellations is mainly in Aries and Capricorn. They're saying this is the devil's tongue, it's been binded. This is the devil's hand, it's been binded. This is the devil's phallus, it's been cut off. This is the devil's anus, it's been usurped. That's what the name of those constellations are that you're like running your mouth about. So somebody went to go get slick and smooth because of that virtual reality. And once again, space holes playing with sound technology and got a bunch of people fucking killed and got a bunch of bodegas and corner stores all across America shut the fuck down. There and you can't take EBT anymore. Yeah, either shut down or you can't take EBT anymore. Oh, okay. Right. So that's how that's getting started. So another thing that was happening was they were kidnapping a bunch of black and brown children and playing too much. So now, what's going to happen here is once again, three people dead in murder suicide, chaos. Somebody made off. Just think that. 42,000 people diagnosed with STDs in just 1 week. Be careful because some of this is foodborne. Because you can get STDs that are foodborne, especially if you got tied to a chemical server in space, or if you have ooh-wee, playing with magic, some other shit going on. So there's a type of HIV that's like foodborne, yes, and it mainly comes from eating pork. Right, top five. Look into him and what the fuck he's talking about playing with Drake and oh no, I don't play with Drake and ooh, I should have never done that because then people wouldn't have exposed my hand playing. Hmm. Steve Bannon. I just wanted to show this real quick because he's one of the white supremacists that was in Trump's administration. He's going to prison. So if they're going to jail, the mayor of Oakland's getting raided. The whole entire Duong family is getting raided, right? The mayor of Oakland, she got raided. Then what makes you think that you're not going to prison? Okay. Now, something in the Vietnamese community, okay, Cal Waste, oh, they raided them too. Something's going to be coming out with the cremation machine that was bought that they are trying to hide from the feds. And something's going to end up coming out about a big ass freezer that was purchased for Chiang, putting whole bodies in there. Okay. Mexican drug type cartel tied to underground Chinese banking group. I told you that Dailee's getting hit. But why us though? Whites are doing dirt too. Okay. I told you. You're still a nigga to them at the end of the day. So that's what they wanted for you to come out, show your ass, show your hand with Cheong, play games, start a bunch of shit in people's job. Like, oh, it's okay now to go play with Gun Gabe. It's okay now to do Gun 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 Guy. Yeah, to start a bunch of shit. Gun 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 Guy is like where I go ahead and I disrespect your bloodline by unburying their grave. And that's where all these bitches come in with 22-inch this and 48-inch that and 98 inches of this and 67,000 inches of this and 28. It's coming from somebody's grave. Fentanyl and playing with the whole Puerto Rican community. By the way, people need to know Cardi B and Chef G are teaming up, and that means a lot for New York. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys that, and that's what was going on. Now, I wanted to also show you guys this. These are also one of the other white men that's playing, Robert Suffer. This is where Seven Bowman like steals all his content from. Okay, white men that like are playing with magic. and they read Lord of the Rings and they think that it's like a white magical world in space. I'm gonna keep it so real with you. Lord of the Rings is actually an indigenous fucking planet. Right. Yeah, because why are they wearing long gowns like that? That looks like an African man in his clothing. Nowhere in space do you exist except for this planet because you're an experiment. So just keep on getting used to hearing me say that, okay? And this is gonna come up again, this 818 and people playing with magic. Could it be you because you're playing with my YouTube channel and playing with a bunch of people's kids? Mm, okay. So they are online as like historians and like knowing about spell work and shit like that and playing with people's kids sexually because they were told that they were going to get spiritual space powers to come and play with you, right? So I don't want to talk about that anymore. So let's go ahead and move to the next subject, okay? So there's a few things that we need to talk about. I have an agenda here. Go ahead and pull this up. Why would the United Nations make a council on witchcraft and then call it people accused of witchcraft? So you basically like use government funding to like create some type of bullshit to go against people that were complaining about the magic. Oh, okay. I didn't know how like far this was going with like a hose playing. Well, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started here. Okay. So remember, for those of you guys that are gonna be online tonight, we're gonna go ahead and do the divination hour. You can pay your funds and then you get your questions read. I'll be reading cards, calories. Some of you guys want to get your chart read. I'll be doing that too. In the next few days, something very disastrous about astrology is going to come out and white people are going to end up scattering. So now let's do a lesson here. Radial probability distribution. This is completely inaccurate, by the way. Um, Radial probability distribution. What does that mean? So you guys know you have something called, some people don't even know that I wrote that book and that's why shit has been like lit. Okay, yeah, how are we gonna like lie about that? Because we trafficked all these kids out of foster care and their parents are going fucking ham in the streets and social workers are getting kidnapped and killed. Staffers for politicians are getting kidnapped and hit. Governors are getting fucking threatened and the police can't do anything. And the police can't stop us. They just want to know about town business. Wow. So some of you guys know that song. I'm not gonna say who sang that song or whatnot because wow. Let's keep on going. So now, what's going to end up happening? Some space we will find out. Yeah, keep on looking. Isn't that the problem? They're playing with spy magic and saying that we're going to go ahead and give this to whites. This is a good representation. I like this one too. Okay, so electron configuration. Oh, this is a good one. This side by side. So you have radial probability distribution. At the center of the atom of the chemical, you have a nucleus. The protons and the neutrons they merge together in a certain form of fashion and number in order to bring down a specific spiral saying that this is hydrogen or this is like argon, mainly hydrogen or argon, sometimes fluorine. Okay. A lot of the times when you're seeing people do electron configurations and they're saying that fluorine is at the center, it's accurate. And this is where we're getting a bunch of stuff that's going on with chemical recalls because they don't know about this science. And some of the reactions that they're doing inside of the laboratory are illegal. And the spiral is already sealed because it's sealed in space in order to not bring down a specific type of like a frequency and formation on the planet that would destabilize the spiral here that's supposed to be keeping things in order. Some of you guys are wondering why certain plants can only grow in certain places, why certain plants are no longer on the planet, why there's so much chaos on the planet, because the radial probability distribution of the planet is going like this because of what is going on. Before we had slavery, when these bitches were down here, it was like at an 8. You can do cool things with science, teleportation, meditation, light tablets, and things like that. So when you see these different like tablets and things like that, they have like a light that popped up, and then it will give you information, or you could talk to people from space. We don't have that anymore. Why? Because bitches started shitting and farting on the planet, burying their feces next to different plants to play in space, causing a bunch of drama and playing with cemetery magic, aka Necropolis Guam. So now what ends up happening is you play like that, it goes from 8 and it goes down to 6. We're getting these souls off the planet, they're getting removed, a bunch of shit going on. Just take them to the ocean, take them to the Nile. There's a specific portal that's down there and it will drag them to like off the planet. That's opened back up on the planet again. So people are getting dragged to the deep ocean and then they're disappearing. So now what's happening here is like, okay, so then we have the atom at the center, and then these are the different electrons that are like configured. So each atom has a certain type of number of electrons, right? That dictates its mass and its charge. Okay. So then what ends up happening here is these are all run by chemical circuits that are thrown out in space. So just imagine here, I'm going to go ahead and give you a visualization. This is what it looks like. And somebody just saw that. Okay. So now what else can I show you? In regards to secret permissions, people's emails, a bunch of shit going on, people's real name, birth certificates from Russia. But I thought you said that you were Jewish. Yeah, ish. So now what's gonna end up happening here is I'm gonna go ahead and there's a bunch of illegal chemical servers. Oh, don't worry, we've rectified that. There's a bunch of illegal chemical servers, which is where you get fentanyl from. There's a bunch of products, like I said, that have gotten recalled because there are illegal chemical servers. Some of you guys may have seen that CVS put out a huge recall in the middle of all this that was going on because all those chemical servers got amplified too. Like, oh, if you're an illegal and you're using this, it's going to be double the effect of chaos on you. So that's why they said, oh, let's just do a recall. They didn't know that they got hit with magic in space. So all these white people that are using like different creams, there's something about a pharmaceutical company. You're looking for topical steroid creams. There's been a few reports to the FBI about robberies. It's a bunch of Israelis doing it. And one of the Israelis lived in the old building that I used to live in. And he was playing at my door, playing up and down in the elevator. And I ran up on him and went up in his apartment and I found it and I took a picture. So, oh, okay, because indigenous people run this in space. And if they don't want it on the planet, period, it's not going to get put on the planet, period, period. So now some of you guys are like, oh, but Daisy, I had an idea with these plants and I want to make this type of mixture, or I want to make this alcohol that doesn't have alcohol in it, or I want to bring back this psychedelic. You just put it into the Akasha and just start to play with the spiral. So you guys have seen like different things that are like out there. Right, like, oh, how do they make this? Like, this is super dope. It's a specific type of spiral that's like there, but some of these people that are making these different products, their family was impacted by wars, their business was tampered with by the Daily or whoever. They suffered, so they own the Akasha. So this is why you see cool products coming from certain people, and that's why white people got smart last minute and said, "Oh, if we spy on her, we can get the information to activate all this." No, you're not, because my hand still has to activate it. So, oh, let's go cut off the hands of small children, and then we'll be able to activate it. So now you started something with like Leopold style drama, literally, where you're cutting off the hands of Africans or small black and brown children and selling it as like a chocolate candy in right. So so now you've seen this. Like, okay, wow, that's really extreme. What the fuck are you doing? And that was their whole intention. Like, if you go down here, you'll be able to get this and this and that from the bitch playing in sound technology that long ago. Wait, hold on, hold on. So you mean to tell me they've been knowing this the whole entire fucking time? But black and brown people, we have the ability to communicate too. It's called telepathy. Oh, you must cause this atrocity, and that atrocity, so that the radial probability distribution, the expansion, goes from 6 down to 1. And then certain type of like realities are only for certain people. This is why it's important to like stop eating meat and certain type of sugars, false sugars. Really, it's the type of sugar that has to go through a false chemical process called glucolysis, right? So there's glycolysis, but glucolysis is something different. So now what ends up happening here is, oh, okay, I see. They're bringing certain type of chemical reactions by facilitating genocides, and they know what the fuck they're doing. So they thought that they were going to play with you one more time and get some type of magic, like, oh, we did all of this all these years just to get to this, only for you to turn around and teach the entire Black and Brown and Indigenous community about this. And everyone's watching in virtual reality because there's certain Indigenous tribes that they don't even know of on the planet that are watching this in virtual reality. Like, how did we get turned into this? And they're casting heavy black magic on hella white people. So now what's going on here is, okay, the radio probability distribution, right? Civil War, drama, slavery from like 6 down to 2. The Civil War goes and we get free down to like maybe 3. They start Jim Crow back down to 2. Malcolm X, a bunch of shit going on, chaos, 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 Viet Cong, Biafra War, da 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 da. 2. We finally have peace. Something ends up going on. Civil rights bills, da 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 da. It goes to 4. Let's start more drama. Oh no, because there's the vibration that's going to come up, and then we won't be able to reproduce and come back and forth here for food. And then there's going to be the rectification. We already saw it, and we're not going to get to enjoy with them. So let's start more wars, and let's start Hiroshima and other drama and conflict in between. Hiroshima alone brought it down like to this. You guys kill certain people, certain animals, rabbits, and different type of beings like this. You're playing in India with the caste system. That planet went from 5 to 2. Trujillo, it was like at like 2.5 down to 1. Iran Contra and all the shit you started in Spanish America, kidnapping people's grandma, 1. All the work that we're doing is going up and down and back and forth. Certain people born on this planet expanding. You bring certain children down to this planet, constricting, and that's why some of you guys had horrible fucking births. Not all of you, right? So now something is coming out like, okay, so now we have seen that white people are basically a type of magic that were put on the planet to destabilize the force of physics. Good. So now what we're just going to do is we've already thrown up new spirals into the sky, new servers. I'm going to give you a specific force of physics. That's them. They're all getting put on a chemical server. You're done for. Now, what's going to end up happening is your radio probability distribution to create any drama goes into 0, nada, nilch. It's not possible because you are going to be fighting against something that's going to make you fucking extremely ill. You're going to find out that there's going to be a bunch of epidemics that get started in the next few weeks, and I don't give a fuck. Now, I told you guys that I was going to play with bacteria and necrotizing fasciitis, and now you see what's going on in Asia with the flesh-eating disease epidemic. The fuck? Well, you're playing with Qiong, and you're playing in yokai. It sounds like you're not getting hit with like a flesh-eating disease. You're getting hit with Dodomeki. You're going into your next form before you leave the planet. There are 3 spiral servers of straight damnation that I'm going to put white people on, especially the Russians and everyone that was playing with people's kids. You people of color, you hope that you're all good. And then I'm going to go ahead and use something to amplify the force and the vibration of that, because I can do that. Now, some of you guys are listening and you're like, okay, I know I can do that too. You can, because you learned about the Akasha. And your higher self is downloading. This is how you do it. So there's going to be a platform where you have to pitch in. Okay, I want to get the Akasha so I can grow like this type of herb, and we have our own cartel. So I need to get on this platform and I need to make sure that, okay, you're going to get this spiral. I'm just going to upload your name. I don't know her name, but I'm just going to say this bitch. And there you go. You build Akasha. Dodo make it. You want to spy. You want to cause chaos. You want to run your fucking mouth. You want to go ahead and play with, it's called Iriri Dininokai, which is basically like the false placement of demons onto blood lineages with speech by using drama and curing up slop with your mouth, then trying to put it on individual people or on their family to get people to see them differently. Doromeki. That's why she has eyes all over her. People see the true me. They see into me, not into you. So some of you girls don't know that in space. I already told you this a long time ago, that you are a fucking demon and you are crawling. There's yokai and then there's like agru yokai. Like they're like the good demons and they handle like the ratchetness. They turn you into these type of things. because you guys put so much gossip on my name. I have one of these. She's so sweet. She's the best. And so many hoes are wrapped up in so much gang stalking and like gossip that it's like actually hella fucking ridiculous. Right? So now I actually am gonna go ahead and read this yokai here. I don't hi. I'm gonna go ahead and put my name in the Akasha for the next level of Japanese. Okay. I know how to speak Katakanaka Japanese. It's like connected to Korean. Okay, like the divination channels in my eyes are being adjusted because you read and you look at it and then you know. It's like a database and it's like a type of anatomy that you have. Oh yeah, this is what mother promised us. Actually, yeah, why am I sticking my dick in small children? So you mean to tell me that you just put your name on a list and now you can speak Japanese? Like, what the fuck? And you know how to read this? Korai. Let's start. In this, you will find the story of Idirikiri Otai, aka the primary demon of the Urukoto Aitai, the lineage of high priest and high priestess that banish the Ikuro Ontai, the dishonorable one with the dishonorable mouth with the Akuro Aitai, the master metal sword of consciousness, honorability, and punishment for the wicked ones and the delusional ones. You will now see the story of Ida Dosomeke, aka one of the whores who thought she was sacred enough to remove the sacredness of other people with her mouth. Here you will find Iritona Airton, the damnation in her womb, Dara Ikra Oitai, the damnation in her loins, her seductive factor. It's like a specific type of like anatomy that you have so that like when you're like having sex with your mate, like you release a type of like chemical and it like upgrades him. Yeah, you're not getting that from 4 and 5 year olds. You will then ponder Duro Ata Akamaiki, the longest, most bitter, and most treacherous suffering that lands on your entire form. And something about like your skin and 3 layers into your epidermis, into your subcutaneous fat, into your dermis, and into like 1 layer of like your blood vessels and into your bloodstream in order to like build out a database that's going to cover you with like another substance state that's going to change your entire like anatomy. Yeah, I'm gonna do that too. It's like a certain type of chemical server you put them on and then they get like a blanket over them, right? Now you will go ahead and enter into the Tesoro Doki Yaiki and the Mirioki Konokatai, aka a specific type of demon substance and flesh portal that allows you to still be on this planet, but you are anchoring down thousands of Miridoki Aikai, aka demonic spirals that change your entire bloodline into the past and into the future for at least 180,000 years. Okay. So her time is almost like up for her to like um maybe get removed from this form. Cause like sometimes like it's like forever, sometimes it's like for a certain amount of time, and then like, oh, the curse on our family has been lifted. After the children, it will leave. Shit like that. This is where the Ira Doromeki will then end, aka the dishonorable one that tried to ruin the sacredness of a sacred individual with dishonorability from her mouth. Okay. So radio probability distribution, like just expand, right? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and tell you why shit has been so low vibrational on the planet. Now you know why. So a lot of us, you're on the planet, like why can't all of us like use these different type of things? You can. So some of you guys don't know that a lot of us as indigenous people, we own chemistry, okay? And you clearly have seen that in certain communities because of wars for herbs and things like that. So now some of you guys are coming to the realization that, oh, okay, in order for this to change on the planet, certain people had to be born here on the planet, and then they had to put out a specific type of orbital that's going to change the D and F orbital, aka like the last layer of the spiral, and then add more electrons, increase the paramagnetism that will then zoom a specific charge to the nucleus and signal her to expand or vibrate. So now, okay, so I'm sorry about that. There's somebody sitting on the computer. I'm trying to edit the text organization of my computer to get into Zoom, to play with my Zoom account. And this is why every time you go on Zoom, you have to sign back in because they're playing like that with one single person and destabilize the internet so badly that it's going to have to be rewritten completely. Especially given how they reconfigured the entire electrical grid, which some of you guys don't know this. Gavin Newsom's being sued for that. Okay, good. And it was a lawsuit saying that for specific states, yeah. Okay, there's a specific lawsuit. I have it screenshotted in my phone where they're basically talking about how four specific states destabilized the entire energy grid because of what they were doing, allowing white people to play on it and play with everyone's utility bills so that they can run like an alternate grid to send pulsations through the internet to hack major servers by destabilizing the specific statistic that they put through C++ that manages how the electricity comes into a program or an app to then power up the coding and to allow you to run programs. Mm-mm. Here we go. Some shit like that. Yeah, I read anime too when I was younger. People just don't know that about me because I'm not delusional. Yeah, I watched Pokemon too. People just would never know that about me. I was like one of the biggest Pokemon fans. I had the original. Remember when they used to have Lunchables and they used to give us Pokemon cards? That was me. I was so crazy about it. Pokemon Gold and Silver, that's been done. So, writing bad energy policy so that you can play with like subsidies and start a bunch of bullshit. So good. So now we have changed the radial probability distribution of the planet because I'm going to change the nucleus. It's not necessarily like changing the nucleus for the one that's for the planet. I have to change the spiral, and I did this yesterday. But now I have to go ahead and connect that spiral to a specific force of physics and a specific substance space that I'm going to bring down into this galaxy. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that because I'm a high priestess. Because they played with one of my daughters in the dream state and destabilized like several planets. So we own this Akasha. Okay, yeah, yeah. We didn't tell them about Akasha and that they own everything in space because we played a long game with magic with their entire family, and now they're the ones that own everything in the Akasha, and we didn't tell the white man. So I'm just gonna let you know the more you keep on playing with holes in my ear, the longer you're gonna get hit with magic. You got a long game, but my game is way longer, baby. I'm way more wicked. So now what's going to end up happening here is like, okay, the galaxy spiral. Okay, so you're adjusting the galaxy spiral now. So that means that things are going to rotate differently and it's going to expand the orbitals. Good. So that means that we can have like different chemicals, different electrons, even. Yeah, because there's different types of electrons. Huh. What? Why didn't I know that? Because white people don't know that. I remember they wrote all these different books and shit like that. And people that did know that throughout the years, like black scientists and shit like that, they either went missing, have their work stolen and plagiarized, and white people don't know what the fuck they're doing, so it didn't make sense. So we're behind like 60 years in science. It's going to take at least 4 years of like hard, dedicated work to rewrite all of science and like put out all these new books and shit like that. I've done like four of them. I've done anatomy, I did chemistry, um, I did biochemistry, I did bioinformatics, and I did coding, computer science. And then white people thought they were going to upload you to the computer and play with something that they don't understand because they're like half brained and you need a full brain and then an extra one. You literally need like a dolphin brain, right? White people are never aquatic. You've never been aquatic. To be aquatic means that you're indigenous. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to expand these spirals and shit is going to get started. But this is also going to change the rotation of planets and things like that. So as the rotation changes here, it changes on the planet. So I'm also changing the galaxy spiral, and you guys are going to feel that. There's somebody that contacted me the other day on Instagram, and she was like, "Thank you so much because I can feel everything that you're doing." And I didn't know that because no one knew that I was doing this. I was just like handling things like, "Okay, I guess I'll just do that." Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of flowers that fell on the floor. Let me pick her up and like move her because she's destabilizing like the whole entire rotation of the planet. Because you're not supposed to do certain things with plants and like flowers. Okay, you're doing rituals with certain herbs and shit like that, and that's how the fuck you got caught because they're sending out crazy ass frequencies and vibrations for it to stop. I'm gonna give white men specifically that are playing. I'm gonna add four extra layers to your nervous system, four etheric layers to your nervous system. You need a specific substance space and things like that to do that. Here, you're gonna hear a bunch of people talking about substances and rotations and spirals, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they're banished. And that's the original curse. And this is why in the Mayan Aztec Empire, so you see in the Mayan Aztec Empire, you start to see people conform and contorted like this and deformed because they went to go and play with what they call plagiarism, contorted and conformed. Now you see why things out. Contorted and conformed, contorted and conformed, contorted and deformed, contorted. You only see this part of me. They binded my body into this apparatus, and this I cannot escape. I can never go into any type of clone. It doesn't matter what machine or biotech that you use. I'm done for. I got clocked out. I was once a female. This is like basically saying like I have some type of like demon over me. It's really like I have like a helmet. You can see my eyes and shit like that, but there's something like blocking me from like, the reality, meaning that my consciousness will never like be replicated again. Contorted and deformed. Okay, good. So now we know what time it is. Okay, yeah. So we just thought we were gonna get a bunch of this shit and go run around and feel special about ourselves. But then we ended up getting big fucking curses that just reset the entire planet and now we're banned from it. Yeah. So when you're banned from a planet, that means that anything that you eat poisons you. And you know that there's like a disease where you can be allergic to water. Let me put you on that chemical spiral. Good. Oh, I have a new discovery. Now I know. But remember, you sticking your dick in your mom, so you actually have no fucking clue that you're about to like end. Because that's the entire point. So yeah, contorted and conformed. Why is your head that long and why is your head that shape? Oh, okay. So we're playing with spell work and they're cursing the fuck out of us because one, we're not indigenous, or two, we if we are people of color, we're sellouts in space because of what we start, which makes sense. Because why am I acting like that? And then we're playing with these different herbs and shit like that. And then we're playing with different like entities that are saying that they can activate this and this and this and that by playing with the whole entire food system. So now some of you guys are wondering, like, what magic are these bitches doing in the first place? It's the fact that we eat from this planet and somebody came here and buried themselves on the planet and took it from like 8 down to like 6. He came here on a spaceship. What does this have to do with chemistry? But I understand why. So that's why like there's a bunch of drug recalls. Oh, okay, because we're getting banished from the fucking planet and people of color now own chemistry because what we started with their kids, doing clinical trial testing on them and trying to play with Daisy with clinical trial testing. This right here means right here, this I cannot divinate, so I'm using a false teleportation device. It was like very like gnarly the way it looks because it was etheric. It wasn't like physical form. It's not physical. It's a substance that once like existed on this planet. This is why they said that the pyramids were once made out of a specific substance that's now gone. Okay. And you know exactly which hieroglyph it is because you can read hieroglyphs, right? So now this whole thing of Daisy's going crazy and things like that, that doesn't work, right? So for all you bitches that are calling the police and starting shit, and look at these YouTube videos, keep bringing them here. Great. This is the story of the original Kritaifkum. I'm gonna put myself in a different akasha to completely like upgrade the substances of my different type of like aquatic and indigenous anatomy so that I can like really, really pull on the story. So now she was going back and forth in Egypt and playing too. She has a few friends down over there and a few babies. Like they used to travel just like that because we had a certain type of like force of physics where we can travel. Oh, okay. And white people came to the planet and then it got like debilitated, right? Right. Yeah, because it makes sense that we're the most debilitated race on the planet. Look what we do. So we thought we were gonna get spiritual gifts from like some bitch in space that has no fucking melanin. Well, at least they're fucking on their family too. That's the entire point. We're going to tell the story of the original Ecryptum, aka the engagement of operatives on the planet of Igrodulzwai that ended up bringing the 18 primary disrespects that are still affecting the 9 primary federations that still live on this planet that they call Earth. They got involved in illicit acts. The first act is merging themselves sexually with the Guacatazi for spiritual powers. The second act is merging themselves with their own relation, mainly the father. The second act was merging themselves with their own relationship, mainly the brother. Their third act is the third act, because these are like similar. First act, second act, third together was merging with the relation of the mother. The fourth act is merging themselves with the damned priest. The fifth act is pretending to be a high priestess when they are not one, and they do not have the equal doom in their blood, aka the specific force of physics and the specific DNA encoding, right, to activate the equal eye, the specific spiral to divinate and be in perfect rotation and alignment with God. They perform the sixth act, which is the defilement of equal eye, the defilement of the high priest by trying to place him into sexual acts. Like, yeah, this is a great psychedelic, but why am I mating you? The eighth act is the desecration of April, the high priestess, by giving her what we call beauty and allowing her to think that beauty was all she needed and that she did not need to study. The ninth act is the involvement in the Gru du Guagidim, aka the tampering of a specific spiritual and substance space, aka the dream state, in order for you to spy and pull on information that does not belong to you because you do not have the specific dactyl in your DNA or in your blood. Okay, right. So how do we get this magic off of? Doesn't work like that. It means like it's for fucking ever. So that means that you're getting off my planet. You're getting off our planet, and it is done. So now we've seen, okay, so that's how that shit started up. That makes a bunch of sense that you hoes were playing and going back and forth. That looks like my baby daddy's new baby mama. Like, I'm wondering, right? So now, periodic table of elements. So now there's something that you're going to find out. Okay, now I understand radial probability distribution. As you go from left to right on the periodic table of elements, it goes from sometimes bigger to smaller, despite hydrogen being there, which is something that they cannot explain why. Because chemical servers, spiral servers, and well, you don't need to know because you're not indigenous, right? So now what's happening here is illegal chemical spirals that they brought from like far off, and then they tied into like the other spirals that they set. Like, okay, we were using this plant as a spiral. She said she was going to carry it. Okay, but we have this spiral and it's tied to other universes and it's tied to other planets. How did this happen? Because somebody was making copies of all those databases, which I own. We own. So I'm going to go ahead and put you all into the Akasha for that. Good. Because if you knew what the fuck you were talking about, you'd be teaching people about this. Not talking about consciousness and getting on meth and then getting on the computer and thinking that you're like dropping knowledge when you're talking in circles. So now what's going to end up happening here is we're going to start playing with the atomic radial distribution. Like I can play with my own chemistry, you can. So let's say, for instance, like, oh, yeah, I heard about that playing with beauty. She was using all her priestess craft to like play with her beauty and shit like that. Okay, what else can I expand? Just keep thinking about that. Right. So now I want my teeth to get whiter. I'm gonna go play in the radial probability distribution of the calcium in my teeth, and then I'm gonna go ahead and write that I want you to be whiter. And then you're gonna give me a chemical sequence, and then I'm gonna find that chemical sequence on the planet. Oh, so that's how you do it. So you don't like gather up thousands of children and then put them into sex torture chambers and then like start a bunch of bullshit with houses that are over by Skyline and one house that is down by not Mountain View, but what's that? It's off of Hagenberger, like when you go up the hill. It's like called Mountain something. As if you're going to Orinda. Yeah, because I increased the radial probability distribution of my eyes and I can see a bunch of shit. Oh, I have a new gift. Okay, great. Okay, yeah, I accept the Akasha to use this teleportation force. I accept the Akasha to use this substance base. I will not use this only for my beauty. I will also focus on uplifting the universe. Okay. I'm going to use this substance to go ahead and like amp the spiral, the galaxy spiral and like the universal spiral. And then there's a specific spiral for this tetraverse because this universe is in like a group of universities. It's called the Tetraverse. It's you have to speak it in the indigenous language. It's like Trizoraniverse. Go record that and write it down so you can go cloud chasing meetings and get like yourself put on an international watch list. So now, so that's how you're making this chemical for wigs and weaves. Okay, I'm gonna wait for you because the Chinaman, he obviously, well, you're playing with Xiong and you're in the Dai League. Whoa, talking about Emperor of the Red Sun, and you're playing with fucking rabbits and creating like dictatorships. I thought I was gonna get food. Yeah, wow. She getting her ass whooped. So, you guys saw that rabbit. Now you see why you see that rabbit running back and forth. So now, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna adjust that because I have this substance. Okay, let's go ahead and align the planet to the galaxy spiral and align to the universal spiral and align to the Trezorverse spiral by bringing down the force of physics like shaft and rotation. And then we have to bring down some mathematics, like some quadratic equations and polynomial equations. So that as we're doing like a and x plus b and x, we do that equation and then we move over to like the next part of the equation equals this, and then that gets plugged into this. So then bring down like more of the substance space and like play. People have no idea what they're doing with math. Reading kamazats. So now I figure like, okay, so we did that. Great. So now more curses and more black magic against the illegal ones is going to come down to the planet, which is what they've been trying to stop the whole time. And then there was something with a bunch of black women in our hair because we were getting our hair permed and a fake particle decelerator to like slow down magic to come to the planet. So that's done. How far is this fucking going? The farthest. So remember, they had chattel slavery, not slavery, chattel slavery. You have to imagine what these souls had planned. So, well, most of them are in sex torture chambers, getting expanded. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to fix that. We have new chemical spirals. We're going to move all the chemicals that are on the planet and in space and in this place to these new chemical spirals. So it doesn't matter what you get from Earth and whatever this bitch said that she's activating, you're not getting anything. That's why they told you that fentanyl was a drug to cure everything and it killed a bunch of people. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead now and let's go ahead and talk about different biological pathways that we're going to go ahead and play with. Okay. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, thank you, Huey. You did a good job. This serpent, yeah, she just wants you to know that she no longer wants to be involved and she's tired of laying eggs. Right. Yeah. Whoa. So now we're going to go ahead and play with the rate law. So rate law. Okay. It's like a whole scientific thing. Go call the whole entire community. You guys will have like a job. If you want to get it put in the Sankasha, you have to call people here and they have to do the work too. What if I kill this bitch in my hood? Because I know she's one of those space holes. You get everything. So rate law. You know what? I get angry and I realize that I can cook. And then I'm happy again. Rate law. So depending on like, okay, so here we have here. So we have a chemical, and then we have to say based on uh, this and this and this, which one goes first, which one goes second, et cetera, right? So we have this nitrogen dioxide with carbon monoxide turns into nitrogen oxide and then carbon dioxide. So the charge moves from the nitrogen to the oxygen because of the spiral server that sets it. Like, okay, you just for equilibrium like purposes and to keep the reaction balanced, it's always going to go like this. Now, is there like an exception to the norm where why would it move from here to here? Why can't it just stay there and then she also gets it too? Or why can't it just be reduced from two to like nothing? Right? And that's spell work. And that's what these bitches were doing and bringing you down to the planet, making copies of you on Neptune. Okay. So now, okay, I know a space hole. Yeah. So now, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to start something vicious. We have these rate law. Like, okay, you have these equilibrium constants. Like, it has to go like this. We're going to change that for white people. We're going to put them on a chemical server where there is no equilibrium constant for all their biochemical pathways, meaning that when I take in some like sugar, it should break down in this order and then have these different byproducts that then signal these other reactions to get me this like final product. So now, imagine my face in ancient Kemet, 8 million years ago. Imagine that real ancient evening where we saw what the fuck we were doing and set you up ahead of time. So now, yeah, somebody from Ethiopia, I'm seeing into you. I can see into this. Yeah, yeah. Auntie, one Ethiopian auntie has really ran her hand with some of those coding tutorials. She's getting paid. Good. She has had several Ethiopian hosts kidnapped and well, and now she's playing in the chemicals. Auntie, hey, yeah, come and do your dance, right? Because you guys know Ethiopians, they dance with their shoulders, right? Meaning like I'm improving my force of physics, like look at my spiral type of shit. So now what's gonna end up happening here is we're gonna play with rate law. So one chemical comes before the other chemical, but how do you know? How do you know? You don't, unless you can divinate. And then that means that there's not going to be any more drug recalls because you would have a divination to tell you that that doesn't go before this, and these two chemicals don't mix. You have to break this one down like this, cut it up like this, and then you mix it with that. The hood making bills and starting sideshows because these niggas are not like wind, like, oh, she's giving free recipes. And yeah, the fuck I am. So now, and the police can't stop us. They just want to know about town business. So now what's going to end up happening here is we're going to have this rate law completely scattered. So instead of this reaction going and then that chemical going, which makes sense, you're going to have this one going first to scatter like a down signal reaction that needs to happen to convert this into that. So then our bodies are going to be filled with fucking kamazats going left and right. Yeah. Yeah. You got me twisted over you. I know I got what you need right here, baby. So what you wanna do? Whoa, whoa. So now you got me twisted. That's all you're gonna call that. So okay, let's just get this nigga twisted. Period. And that's just how they used to do it. So now what's gonna end up happening here is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take your biochemical pathways and we've now scattered you. Your equilibrium, there is none. Your K constants, that's done for. There's no such thing. Now, for the Black and Brown community, because it's your birthday too, I'm going to put you on a chemical spiral. Like all my reactions will be balanced. So I'm not going to be sick anymore because they were saying that I'm missing like a biochemical in my body or that something's not going right because you were eating meat. Okay, thank you. So this is going to be the new medicine. Whoa. So now what's going to end up happening here is we're going to take Avogadro's number. And what is Avogadro's? Because I heard that Trader Joe's is selling like a bunch of shit that's called avogadros, but it's really avocados. They just thought it was like funny. So now Avogadro's number is saying that for each atom, it can have only a certain amount of moles. Okay. That means that like I have this body. I can only fuck on so many niggas in a lifetime. Okay. There's like a cap before I just like lay down and die. That makes so much sense that each chemical is capped at a specific type of like molar mass because of the universal spirals. And then holes debilitating those spirals to add more or less mass, and then bringing other chemicals by playing with the food that you're eating, and then turning an atom into a moiety. And then the next thing you know, like I ate this food and now I have a bunch of radiation in my body. How did that happen? Here, you're getting put on that chemical server. to reduce the amount of moles per atom in your body so that we can like use electrochemistry with you sitting in front of the computer, charge your DNF orbitals that are already like destroyed, increase the paramagnetism, and have more radiation like zipping into your body. Because remember, I already put you on a chemical server for dodo making nonsense. So now, yeah, I don't know. Some of you hoes like to be diabolical with niggas. Like I set him up and I fucked on his best friend. I just like to play in like chemistry and like books and mathematics. Okay, I see she needs this today. Now, what I'm also going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play with, I play with your orbitals, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and play with the substance that makes up your orbitals. Yeah, okay, because I see that the valence has like, it's like separated by certain shells, but there's like a specific type of magnetism force like in between that's like separating those shells and those electrons. Oh, it's called the octet rule. Okay. So that means that you can actually put them on a specific chemical spiral so that you actually make this like physical. I think that's great. I think that's And then I want to play with reactions and reaction rates. Okay. So for all the reactions that need to go into your body, you're going to only have like half reactions. Holes in space has been done. Clones, right? When does the cloning stop? We own like the last substance for clones in any like galaxy, place, universe, etc. How? That seems like crazy. Like I can't fathom that. Isn't space super vast? It is. Half reactions. What is a half reaction? Two half reactions. So it goes up until a certain point and then it stops. And then we initiate the reaction again by adding a byproduct or a catalyst. Oh, there's a song, Catalyst, you insist that I change for you. It's like some like rock song or some shit like that. And then something with Chop Suey and System of a Down, both of them are going to jail. Thank you. Pulling with people's kids. I got so many fucking emails about them from certain people. I'm gonna give it to the feds. One of the federal agencies wants me to know, Daisy, thank you so much. You led us right to the white supremacist group. Robert Sepper, I hacked his computer and I already saw in his history that he's watching your videos. Okay, good. So now have reactions. Very good. So now, what we're gonna go ahead and do here, one of the rappers, hey Daisy, are you fucking serious? I just felt this all over my body. Hey brother, yeah, you're expanding your orbitals, right? So remember, all your amino acids and things like that, they're made out of different like chemicals on the periodic table, and different chemicals get together and then they make an amino acid. So yeah, I would love to be like a doctor or a practitioner, but I just think people should leave me alone. But I am a substance use disorder counselor. So if you need to get readjusted because you like, I thought it was coca, but this is fentanyl, I can help you adjust yourself. I've done it for a lot of people. Hey, I want to know, are you talking to somebody? I don't know. There's a few niggas in space that they want to work together. I'm just expanding my horizons. I'm expanding my orbitals. Space niggas. So now we're going to keep on going, okay? Amino acids. Yes, 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 yes. Why do all of them have this at the end? Basically, it's a secret. But what I can tell you is that I'm going to destabilize it, and then I'm going to show you how it works because you're going to see a bunch of shit about sick people in the media, and people wanting to commit suicide in the middle of the street. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put you on a chemical server so that your hydroxyl groups continue to like break down into hydrogen and then oxide. And then I'm going to radicalize that oxide so that you then bring in specific charges through your zodiac sign, chemical demons from different planets in space that are supposed to like be managing your zodiac because your zodiac is out of control. It's called the Pachachua. It's like Mayan Aztec, like magic. Okay, so first we're gonna break down these hydroxyl groups into one and then the other. So that's gonna like completely break down the amino acid. Yeah. And then what you're gonna do is that you're gonna attach this to a chemical server that radicalizes the oxide. Yeah. And then what you're gonna do is have like a specific type of electron configuration and charge for a chemical demon to come down onto our body. Yeah. And then eat like our entire substance state up, eat up my entire vitality. Yes. And then like curse the fuck out of me with different magic and it's following me around in my ear all day. Exactly. So now what's going to end up happening here is we're going to do that. And then you're going to get put onto a chemical server where you try to synthesize like certain amino acids. Like, oh, you get it from your diet, so that's fine. That's the entire point. So now you're on a chemical server where you are cursed by all of these amino acids. So it doesn't matter what amino acid you have in your body, it's officially cursed. Now you see how they make weird diseases. Okay, you should teach a class on this. Okay, it'll be like 125 though, in like 4 hours. It's part one. Okay. No, so now, since you want me to focus on you, I'm gonna focus on you. You need amino acids to go ahead and build themselves up into specific peptides. And then those peptides continue to make quaternary structures. And then those quaternary structures start to then make up different larger structures. So you see my nose? This is like accumulation of peptides and things like that that make the structure of my nose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn your amino acids and the motor proteins in your ear against you, and you're going to develop a specific anatomy, a second and third and fourth eardrum. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is Yanni and Huey, yeah, they don't want to be involved in this one. They're calling their higher self to see like if I'm okay because I just took it too far, but they think it's great. So I'm getting another gift. Okay. They're going to give me a specific substance so I can have like little demons and beings dancing in your ear. Okay. No. Sweet. Yeah, those holes in space. That's why they're getting different bodies and clones. That's why it's a different one every day. Okay, so I'm going to shatter the biochemical pathways in your ear, and then half of the ATP process that's like centralized to your ear. And then I've already split up your energetic processes. Woo, that's some crazy metal warfare, Bart. You need to fix train number 7431. Yeah, because like the gears are need to be oiled, and that's why it's like screeching against the metal like that. Yeah, because there could be something about like the start and stop. Like, oh, I was going really fast, and then I didn't know that this gear needed to be re-oiled, and it was like running the traction in the brakes. And then like I tried to put like a stop, and then I couldn't, so I crashed into another train in front of me, or I came too fast into the station, and somebody got like zipped into the wind, fell or something. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So now you have 3 or 4 and like 20, depending on how much you did, eardrums now. Now each of those eardrums, I'm gonna take one of those eardrums and I'm just gonna turn it into like a portal. Bring in the dancing queen. And you're just gonna have a demon like doing the running man like that. And you're screaming and starting shit and like disturbing your vagus nerve. Right? Indigenous people, we have like 8 vagus nerves, not just one. This is why they were like hacking up people's kids, like, oh, we can study in tests. which is going to come up and like, where'd you get that cadaver at? Or like anatomy. I've had to do that. I took anatomy and stuff like that in college for my degree, and you have to dissect bodies. You won't catch me doing that. I don't eat meat. So now let's get started here. Wow. Somebody boiled a certain part of the body. You're demonic and you're about to get every akasha. Keep on going. This is soft carnitas. Whoa, this is good meat. So now, yeah, Zone 6 niggas like to see the white meat. Yeah, he's singing because he has learned from my channel. I see the soft meat, right? Whoa. Mhm. So now, great. So let's go ahead and like put you on the chemical server for the substance. I just put you on the server for the substance. Then I put in a specific equation to bring the demon down. And she has a home and she has a feeding source. Okay, just want to make sure. They're so cute, mom. Hi, baby. She's from like Neptune number 3. She like induces like mental illness. Ooh, DSM. Yeah, we're gonna have to rewrite that. So DSM, it's like diagnostic like tool for like mental health. Like, oh, this is your diagnosis. Yeah, we own that too for them trying to use it against me. I'm like, oh, I don't see her diagnosis here. She said that there's a sound technology. Don't mention that. Just say that she's like hearing voices. Now you're hearing voices. Like I'm very literal because I'm a Virgo. I don't like metaphors, but I'm also Spanish, so I speak in them. This just keeps on going. Something like no. At least I gave you those websites so you can go and like study. What's the point? Yeah, something's like gonna get exploded about this whole Spanish chaos that you started. So now with glycolysis, so glycose to pyruvate for the Krebs cycle. What's a Krebs cycle? It's like how you basically create specific byproducts to initiate a creation of ATP within the Krebs cycle, right? But also too, there's a citric acid cycle. They're basically like different cycles for like the creation of energy in the body. So instead of having glycolysis, you're gonna have iguanodonate, aka when you take in this sugar, the sugar ends up going zigguanide backwards this many times, forward that many times, and then it stops this many times. So instead of you creating like pyruvate to go into the Krebs cycle, because why can't the sugar just go into the cycle? It needs to be broken down into certain things. Oh, so you're going to stop that so that their body is not going to be like breaking down that glucose into something else to then feed a different process. No, the sugar is going to get radicalized and it's going to then, oh, I'm here. I'm going onto a different chemical server. Now I'm not really sugar. I'm her batter twin. Yeah, that's a whole realm of chaos. I don't really want to like get into that, but I've met her before. She's playing too much. So now instead of making pyruvate, you're making some other type of like kamazat slop from space that's supposed to be feeding your body. Good luck with that, right? So glucogenesis, synthesize glucose from the blood. Because you know how you put something in your body and then it gets transferred to all of your different organs that have specific biochemical pathways there. That's going to stop, right? So instead of you synthesizing glucose from your blood to then like, okay, as this blood is moving through different parts of my body, this organ is going to get this and this and this because they magnetize the glucose particles to get absorbed into the organs and then like get broken down and then feed these different energy creation processes. How about we just don't have that at all? And instead of you like having glucose in your body, the minute you put it in your body, it turns into urea, which is like the more dangerous aspect of nitrogen. So instead of you then synthesizing glucose from your blood to feed your body, you're then putting urea into your organs. Isn't that like dangerous? Yeah. So then you're just basically like feeding your body uric acid, which tears down like the molecular layer of cells. Okay. Glycogenesis, formation of glucose. So there's something where, oh, pyruvate, reverse. And you can go ahead and If there's too much pyruvate, it can get stored as glucose, and then that extra glucose gets stored in your fat cells. That makes sense. Okay. So basically, what you can basically do is reverse that process. So instead of pyruvate turning back into glucose, pyruvate will continue to get radicalized by the urea that I just put in your body, the pathway, and then form chaos. Different type of chemical that I'm not going to talk about. Like it's close to yttrium. Right. And go get in the computer and think some bitch is going to play with me in space and she's dead. Because she doesn't have an akasha. She was playing with different people that were giving them chemicals from far off that didn't know everything got turned off. You step into this galaxy, this treasure-verse, this universe, we own everything. So that's what's been going on for the past like 4 or 5 years, a big ass space war to give us all of this and expose who originally started slavery by making copies of our body because of the air that we breathed and the food that we ate. Now, another thing with rate law, like they will never figure this out. Some of these souls don't know that now, because you're playing in my fucking ear, I'm getting way more vicious because you know who I am in space. Because in space, I torture bitches. Okay, so then they thought like they're gonna play with you on the planet, like to get back at you because you tortured us. I can see you torturing me. Yeah. So now something's gonna end up happening with rate law as the chemical spiral was coming down and programming the nucleus. We adjusted the spiral in a different dimension by making a copy of it and hiding it in a far off place, and then playing with the demon that plays with the secret hand of magic. It's like a type of gift that you can get. They would never see this. And he was adding specific type of chemical sequences to certain aspects of the rate law. So as it's coming down, this spiral comes and brings down this electron. This spiral comes down and brings down this electron in a compound, etc. I'm going to put this chemical here, this chemical here, this chemical here to merge with the entire like spiral on the universal level. So they will never know that I'm like hiding here. But we do know because I just explained that. So we've been basically eating like a bunch of shit, and there's like some demon nigga like hiding his body throughout like the spiral in the food. I know who that nigga is. I went to school with him because that's type of bitch nigga shit. Like right there, right there, right there, right there. Just stay right there and kill him. Make sure you kill him. So now glycogenesis, storing extra glucose as fat. Okay, good. I'm gonna accelerate that. So instead of you bringing glucose into your body and it gets distributed through your blood and da 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 da, we're going to make sure that it immediately goes to storing glucose as extra fat. And then, okay, yeah, you're trying to make me big. Yeah, big girls need love too. Big niggas need love too. So now what's gonna get started here is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put a spell on you so that that extra glucose gets put onto a specific chemical server to get turned into that glucose. That's not turned into fat. The fat gets put onto a chemical server to turn from brown adipose or white adipose or beige adipose into black adipose. And then that's going to be used to anchor down a bunch of black magic. Yeah. Good. Pentose phosphate pathway is basically the breakdown of sugar into purine or pyrimidine or something with specific pentose, type of pentose phosphate combination in order to attach to the RNA aspect of the DNA replication process to be able to have the specific phosphate pullback mechanism necessary to like shoot atoms like towards the DNA chain to like merge them together, right? To make like your DNA helix. We're gonna break that so that you have like composites. So I'm gonna put you on a path on a specific like a chemical pathway server so that that just doesn't exist. Fatty acid oxidation. Okay, and that looks like oxidizing like fatty acid in order to convert it to reverse the reaction or to convert it to something else. Let's just break that. You don't need that. Fatty acid synthesis, where it just kind of like it's like kind of ketosis. We're like, oh, okay, yeah, if you don't have like an extra energy though, yeah, I don't know what she's talking about because it's something called like the keto diet. If you have fat in your body, then the body will break down the fat and then turn it into glucose, and then the body will just use that. I'm talking. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take that. Oh yeah, you tortured the fuck out of me in space, and then like I had a clone somewhere else, and I thought it was gonna be cute to like get a bunch of other banished people around to like play with planet Earth like that to play with you, and then I ran a bunch of bitches on planet Earth using chemicals and the fact that they're dirty and filthy and do certain type of sexual things, and tied to a chemical server because of that to play with you and cause a bunch of drama. And now you brought out the thing that I really should have never ever like tried to put into the hands of the white people. And I showed you how to destroy me again. And now all these people that I brought out are like getting hit because the whole entire like universe, Treasure everyone in space has come out to see this because of the children that they went to go rape and murder because I was playing in people's ear, the ear of a white man. And now everyone is fucking looking for me and I'm hiding in a certain plant in like in between Cambodia and Asia. And that's done for because they found me. And now you're going to take this hand, this spell that you have, you're going to move that spiral into a certain substance space, and you're going to give me a body back again. Okay. And then you're going to clone my body across several different dimensions and universe and Treasure and put you in different torture chambers. But I want you to know. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a specific type of like duduquisi, aka like light string. It's like a piece of my hair. And then I'm going to bind you to each and every single last one of those bodies in all those universes so you can feel me and know what I'm about. For white people, I'm gonna just put a spiral on you because you're delusional, and I'm gonna just tie you to all the bodies that you are connected to in the duat. So I have my grandfather in the duat because he started slavery, and then I'm in the duat because I was playing in the foster care system. Okay, so you're tying us together. Why? I didn't do what you did. Well, the more the merrier, right? Because it's a family affair. It's a party. So let's continue. Cholesterol. Some of you guys don't know that cholesterol is a type of steroid. And you need steroids in the body for certain things, right? Especially to make certain enzymes, really for your reproductive factors, etc., for the creation of hormones, mainly for the creation of hormones. I'm going to destabilize your entire cholesterol system. So instead of it converting and going through different chemical reactions, remember half rate, it's going to create like an anti-cholesterol, which is like a very toxic chemical that ends up like eating at like your fat, your mesentery, which is a specific type of like sheath that's like over your stomach, eating through your stomach, eating through smooth and rough endoplasmic reticulum in your cells, eating through epithelial cells and eating through basal cells, and completely shattering the organization of the cells in your body, the same way you were playing with my text organization in my computer. Ketogenesis, yeah, yeah. Well, the ketones will break down. It's black fat. Well, what can be bad about that? Maybe this is what we were working towards. Now, look, I told you they took our powers, and now look, we're getting it back. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is when you go through ketosis, right, to break down fat into glucose, you're actually like breaking down like a crazy ass chemical from space, right? That's like gonna signal like a demon, like, what are you doing? And why are you here? Let me play with you. This is the perfect playground. And they're hungry too. So is that why I'm tired all the time? Because you like basically like promised me to a demon to do certain things for you, like get your butt bigger and get your hair longer and your skin clear and your teeth whiter. Yeah. And they do all those things for me. Hi, priestess. I've brought this universal spiral here for what you want. I saw what you want. Your birthday is coming up. I'll give you. Some of these demons think that I'm their wife. That's okay. You're cute. Now, yeah, because I can outdo you in any fucking galaxy, bitch. And I'm gonna show you that. So now with amino acid biosynthesis and metabolism, that's no more. And I just showed you how, right? Nucleotide biosynthesis, that's no more. And I just showed you how. Now your nucleotides, there's a specific force of physics that takes like your specific chain, let's say a chain right here, or takes your chain, take his chain and then go parade it around and let them know that you did it. And you get everything and you don't get charged. I made sure because I have a hand that can move different places. So is that how we've been like running through the streets, killing a bunch of niggas right in front of the police and they're not doing anything? Because they can't move and they're tired and sick. Ooh, my mom told me about you. Yeah, somebody brought their daughter. Come listen to this about science. Hi. Yeah, love the babies. Somebody's about to go start something stupid on the computer in any minute now. Yeah, I wanted to be a veterinarian. How does she know? This is for you. God is doing this. Like, I want to show you your path. Yeah, you do. You have a path and you do have an aquatic being. I'm going to show you your aquatic being, okay? Don't be afraid. I want you to be careful with the TV that you're watching and not too much computer, okay? But I'm going to put a spell on your computer so that you don't attract like electro radiation to your orbitals because it's like playing with like one of your aquatic anatomies. And I see like, mom, I can't like really think straight. I don't know. I don't want to do it. Can I do it later? Yeah, because of a certain type of substance that they put onto the computer through C++. So let me just do that for all the kids. I'm just gonna put like YouTube Kids and Netflix Kids on a chemical server. Oh, for the feds, right? Talking about my coding tutorials, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Look what I found. Ah, 5 men convicted of operating massive illegal streaming service that allegedly had more content than Netflix, Hulu, Vudu, and Prime Video combined. Didn't I just tell you that they were playing with Kafka and the streaming service? Now, my question is, how were they getting all that unless they were hacking their system and playing a certain type of way, or they used to work at the company? And then where are they hosting it? Like, where's their data center? Or is it all of our data? So was I telling the truth or not? Because I just said this and this just came out in the media. Or was that the entire point to show people that I was like, right? Okay, you're cute. Yeah, there's an older white male and he's like into me. I'm gonna help you get a girlfriend. So, he's a nice man. I'm gonna get him a girlfriend though. I will meet a nice woman that will be like for me. Yeah. So, yeah, somebody just figured something out, right? Because I'm not goofy. Nitrogen metabolism. Okay, nitrogen. I learned about this in class. Nitrogen is used to initiate certain chemical like reactions and process, but it's also in fertilizer. Yes, and nitrogen basically helps to initiate like growth factor. So really, the thing here with nitrogen is that it's on a specific chemical server and it initiates combustion reactions, things like that. But it helps to like move processes for like energy creation and things like that. Now, one of the things with nitrogen, right? Is that we can go ahead and we can destabilize the nitrogen metabolism. So instead of you like breaking down nitrogen or producing nitrogen through the byproduct of your nutrition, you're creating like, or you're synthesizing nitrogen's like big sister. Yeah, she's a badass bitch. Yeah, she doesn't fuck with white people or karmics and you want to play with kids and I'm watching this. Right. So why don't I put you on the chemical server for that? Why not just put all your like elements that you play with on the chemical server for like all of the chemicals that don't fuck with you? They're higher form. Now, I already split up your biochemical like pathways. So yeah, ATP, yeah, it's to make energy in the body. So you need to tell me that you can split up somebody's ATP process? Yeah, you can. I could put you on a server to shatter you, which you thought you were going to do with me by playing with me in the computer, right? And basically what's going to end up happening here is that your ATP production cycle gets shattered. So you just get like one aspect of it because it's like 118. But then I get like 3 servers, and then like we need like 4 other of the servers to like run magic on you. And then like other people want to do spell work too. Like, oh, yeah, I used to work for this white man. Like, you're gonna shatter his pathways, and then all the electrochemistry that's going into like his body, I can like go ahead and use that to run a certain type of magic to get the things I want. Yeah, because I want a new car and I want a better job. So now what's gonna end up happening here? This is so cool. Her mom, nothing just yet. That's her from space. So now let's get started here. So you split up the pathway first, and then you put them on those chemical servers. Yeah, because we need a little bit of clean energy. So there's a specific type of spell set, and I gave this to all of Brazil. Thank you. And that's why you see what's happening right there with the Portuguesa. So you're gonna go ahead and take this type of magic, like, okay, it's already preset. I don't get my hands dirty. I just say, okay, I want this type of magic done, and it's already preset in space. So it's a demon that went ahead and said, oh, you're gonna need this type of magic because you're splitting up their body. Here's a gift for you. So instead of you like using like clean magic, right, like your aquatic magic or things like that, on that server, I already have like demon magic. It's made from a certain substance. So basically, like your manifestation is clean, but the spell is dirty. Wow. Yeah, I don't really play with spell work. I'm a scientist. Did you? I need more energy. I need. These kids are here and they're learning. I'm sorry. Don't be like me. Sometimes I have a potty mouth. Okay. Uh, don't be like me. You're going to be greater than me. I'm going to make sure of it because you're going to learn here. So now what's going to end up happening here is we've already shattered up their biochemical pathways. Now, some of you guys are wondering about like, okay, what about the animals? How can we help them? There's works that are already available. Oh, thank you so much. You own this type of herb or this type of speech, so you made different spirals, and you're putting these spirals on because you saw me on YouTube, and now you're helping me with my health. And that's kind of like one of the things like that got started in Asia because I used to watch Critter Club. Some of you guys have seen SBS TV or Critter Club on YouTube. And I used to watch the different animals on there, and that's how they knew who was starting wars in the Daily. But those animals blessed me because by watching, they were getting like healing and stuff like that from my higher self who was watching, like, oh, let me help you and this and that. Like, oh, don't worry, like you're gonna have an easy birth and things like that. Like, don't worry, I'm gonna reunite you with your kids. Like, yeah, we were crossing the street and my son, he's lost. And look at the family reunited. We all went to the shelter together. Okay, great. We're going back into the wild. Yeah, great. So now, good. Those type of things you guys can do, okay? Okay, but I want better medicines for the animals too. I own these type of chemicals because they put my grandma in slavery. So we own these different type of chemicals because of how they brought her here. So that means that I can dream up new medicines for the animals. And I saw something in my dream, and I'm gonna tell my mom about it. Right? It belongs to you. Good. Somebody got straight off the computer. What are you talking about? Make sure that the kids leave now when we're talking about the chaos. Yeah, to make a kids channel about this, Bill Naisha, Bill Isha, Bill and I, the science guy. They'll call me Bill Isha, right? It's the black version. Yeah, he's involved too, and who cares? His name was mentioned, and he's dying, he's sick, whatever. Yeah, Bill Nye, the science guy, I used to watch him all the time. Him, Crashbox, a bunch of educational things. Yeah, thank you, PBS Kids. Like, and they used to have the book fair and everything like that. Because I was constantly being teased and bullied. So I was like, okay, I have friends on Animal Planet. Gang stalking when I was a child, magic. So these hoes find mind to play with us when we're kids like that. And they thought that they were going to play again when you were grown by activating the same nonsense. Some of us have gone through it. And then white people are sitting here watching as legislators and everything, and they thought that they were going to run game like that on the black and brown community and start a bunch of wars by running karmics. Good. So they're constantly in the fasted state. So that means that my body is like burning more like energy. Okay, to like supplement the fact that I'm in a fasted state and I haven't eaten, but I've been eating like back to back to back. And anything that I eat is going to convert into a specific chemical that's going to destroy me. You stepped it. Some people want to play with that black magic server. I just don't know. Make sure that you can actually play with that. It's an Akasha. Yeah, that's true. Because there had to be demons of the light. Are they really demons or demons? I see that there's like good and evil. So there's those who like know about the evil and they can be even more evil. Or God is always wicked. God is wicked. I will have God's wickedness. I'm going to put that spell on you. I know how to craft perfect punishments for my enemy. I'm going to put that spell on you. Yeah, you have to approve it in the Akasha. Some of you guys are seeing like a book or something pop up in front of you. Approve it. So I don't need to know their name. Okay, so this is about to be done. All right. So we've done enough. So people will go ahead and spread this around. This is like free for you guys. Patreon, we're going to go a whole lot deeper. I'm going to do like a 6-part series for you guys, my patrons. For Patreon, it's $10 a month, but you can do like either or, like just the readings for 5 or just like the classes for 5. I just make it affordable because I know people like need it. Karmics, they sign up for my Patreon, that's fine. Yeah, the kids. Yeah, making content for them. I have like a blockchain developer course for the kids. So I can be a blockchain developer. Mom, look, I can make this blockchain for us because I own this type of metal. So then what we can do is we can go ahead and bring down this code. And then by running this computer program, I'm like making a certain crypto that's tied to the metal. But the metal doesn't get stripped or like make my battery run out or slow my computer down. So I'm making like 10 cents a second by being on the computer and in crypto. And then we have money for rent and things like that because these kids own everything. How were you when you were a kid? I was exactly the same. I don't remember not being a kid. It's like my consciousness has been like flowing through, like, oh wow, when is this life gonna end? This is good. Some of you guys need to like get that spirit back. Yeah, my baby daddy tried to break me down, but now I know how to deal with it. Ooh. And he's always eating that backyard barbecue, and I see them on Instagram, and I've been asking for child support. Now I know what to do. Whoa. I heard that there was cows and chickens running around. Yeah. So, like people think that they're running magic on you. It's through nutrition, through the food that you're eating. Because, like I said, somebody went to go play with weight law and they went to go play with copies of spirals. Okay. So we own all that now. So the magic's going to be broken. So Brujeria does not exist unless they're playing with radiation or unless somebody's hiding in certain places all throughout the galaxy by playing with your aquatic being or playing with like your companion or playing with certain things, which is getting broken. So you mean to tell me that there was a chicken or a cow that was hiding herself in like in different dimensions and different duats and then tying herself to my body and creating like a false energy field around me so magic can work? So that's why I went homeless with my 2 kids because I ate ribs. God help you if you eat pork, you get a whole brand new DNA synthesis. So you eat the animal and then she plays in your DNA. Yeah, I knew that there was something more about that because it just couldn't be that easy to just eat somebody. I think we're gonna go vegan. Yeah, I got a bunch of vegan recipes. So, think we're done here, you guys. So people are just taking notes. Questions? Let me just go ahead and check the. Okay. Oh, your grandson is 7. Okay, I'm gonna protect him because he's like around too much nonsense. House of Azúcar, be careful. Earth Angel, you're gonna make it, okay? What can you do to stop eating meat and cheese products? They do put spells on you so that you can be like super attracted to like eating meat and stuff like that. Okay, I think we're done for today. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps and I hope you enjoy. I'm gonna put a spell on you, okay? Yeah, there's a specific spell being tied to your duodenum and the substance of your duodenum. And then there's something with bilirubin in your liver and the bilirubin being tied for something like I crave these proteins. And then there's something about the microvilli in your small intestine, like your lower small intestine before it gets to that, like the ileum. I want you to slow down with bread and like just stop eating meat. You know what this is at the Spanish community, like tomatillos and stuff like that. You want to eat like that type of salsa? Yeah, pepper. Yeah, yeah. Now you see why you eat, see me eating whole peppers, like it's good for your stomach. Here, I'm gonna show you this. Okay, good. Okay, great. So I would like to assist in cleaning the ocean and the planet. Well, Cheryl, you know what to do. All right.